Okay guys, Dr. Dual Sport here. I'm out, got to go out for a little ride today. We got away about noon. I'm riding with my son Chris and my cousin Roy. I'm on the WR450F. Haven't ridden it since last spring. We had to put a new battery in it. I've been running the Shariah lithium battery, and the one I had in there had gone dead, and the bike wouldn't even start. So we got that going, the tires pumped up, checked the fluids, away we went. Chris is riding a brand new bike. We just got us another bike for the fleet, a 2018 CRF250L. And it's a sweet little bike. It's fuel injected. It's a dual sport. You know, it's not a dirt bike. It's a dual sport, but it is smooth. The clutch has such an easy pull, and the brakes and everything works so nice. The only thing I did to it before we left the dealership, I did a little work on it there. I put on some bark busters, heated grips. I put on a radiator guard. What else? Okay, and I switched out the sprockets. It comes stock with I think 1440. And I switched it out to 1342. So just to get it a little bit lower, get a little bit more torque, a little more grunt. But anyway, that's a sweet little bike. Chris is really enjoying it. He hasn't had a minute's problem, and I actually don't even keep up with the guy. I don't keep up with anybody anyway. So, but you don't need a real powerful bike to do this kind of this dual sport riding, because you can, if you get daydream and get carried away here, you can go a little too hot into a gravel turn, and it's not banked just right, and you can slide off the road, and it don't matter what bike you're in. But anyway, we've had a really good time. Roy is riding, this spring he bought a new Yamaha YZ450FX. So it's the fuel injected model with wide ratio transmission. Let's see, 7 miles to Salina Canyon. Looks like we're going to go down this. I think this is Willow Creek, so you can see the bikes there. So we're good to go. And you can see I just mosey along behind them guys. Anyway, Roy just got the big desert tank, 4-gallon installed there. I forget the name of that tank. Anyway, they're made in Australia. Last spring he was looking at switching that out, because they come stock with like a 2-gallon. But that tank, it was like, it cost you $800 plus shipping from Australia. So he was checking around trying to see what he could do, best way to get one. Anyway, come to find out, Rocky Mountain ATV took on the dealership for those. So and Roy's actually a wholesale dealer with his company, Ryko Motorsports. So he's able to get a pretty good deal on there. And then his son Ryan is a excellent motorcycle mechanic, so he's got it all installed. And that bike is really nice. A couple of other things he's done to it. He's got the Scott's steering stabilizer on there, and then Ryan has redone the suspension. He's actually lowered it in the front, and got the proper springs and everything. And then on the back, he actually pulled the rear shock apart and put a spacer in there to lower it and get it down there, because they're really sprung high. I think it's like 38 inches or something like that. So he's got to lower it down, and got the stabilizer, and got the big old tank. So he's ready to cruise. And he told me that he's not really trying to set that up for a trail bike. you know, he's got other bikes he can ride on the trails, but so he does not think that he will get the Recluse clutch. But it's more like for a light adventure bike. So you know, for this kind of riding, or for, you know, like going a couple 300 miles on the dirt in a day, something like that, you know. But it's got excellent power. We left the town where I live. We went south about 10 miles to Levan, up Levan Canyon. As we got to Levan, we noticed that Roy's license plate was falling off. So, and you know, a place like Levan, there's no, well, hardly anywhere are you going to find like a motorcycle store. But anyway, we went into Levan, and what you do is you find the first farmer or whatever, and so we did, and the guy we knew, he was working outside in his yard there. He found went through his garage there and found some scrap bolts, found one that would work, and then we went downtown to the old store, the guy that has that. Anyway, he's got like a couple of granaries out back, and he saves every bolt and fitting and everything there is, because there's nowhere else to get stuff out there in Levan. So we were able to find everything we needed, get it going. So anyway, that burned up a little time. So we went up on top of that, of the Red Cliffs there, and then south on that mountain there for about 20 miles. Dropped down off the end of there, down in the Manti Canyon. Crossed over the valley, went to Mayfield. We were going to go to the Mayfield Mall. It's actually just a little, like a one-room, do everything place to eat, buy your stuff and your gas and whatever. Anyway, it was closed. It had shut down. So, and we just needed to top off with a gallon of gas. So anyway, down the street, Roy happened to know a guy that lived there, a friend of his. We pulled in there, and he fixed us up. He had a 5-gallon can of gas there, topped us off, filled up our Camelbacks, and his wife even gave us an ice cream bar, so sent us on our way. And then we went up the 12-mile canyon, and then up Birch Creek Canyon to the top, and now we decided to drop down this Willow Creek Canyon, and this will take us back down into that Sanpete Valley there. But anyway, the comparison on those two bikes, on the CRF and on the YZ, they're completely different bikes. You know, the one has more power, it holds twice as much fuel, it'll go twice as fast, probably has better suspension or whatever, but the CRF250, it probably gets 70 miles a gallon, where the YZ probably gets 35. So you can ride it all day and use less gas, but it is a comfortable little bike. I think we're going to like it. I've never really had a bad Honda, you know. Their stuff lasts, you know. The best four-wheeler I've got is one of those old 4-tracks 300, you know. They first come out with them, they were 4-wheel drive, and it's got the little 300cc motor. That thing is, I bet I got probably 20,000 miles on that thing, all on the dirt, just beating the heck out of it around the farm there, you know. And that thing will fire up right in the middle of winter with no choke. It's just a good little outfit. So anyway, I was glad to get back on the Yamaha here. I was worried the other day when I pulled it out of the trailer. I couldn't get it to start. I thought maybe I should be able to start it if I'd kick it, but no way. She's a no-go. The way I have it set up with a Trail Tech regulator rectifier, 100-watt stator. So anyway, everything is 12 volt. Everything is 12 volt DC. Whereas on the way they're originally wired, your like your ignition coil and then all that is powered off AC. And then I think they just had a little 12 volt charging circuit to charge the battery for the electric start. So anyway, I don't know, there's a lot of different ways to configure your bikes, a lot of ways to do it, but one thing I felt that no matter what bike I ride here, if I'm going to ride it year-round in Utah, I've got to have some bark busters on there to kill the wind, and then some heated grips, because you know, when it gets real frosty, boy, you just can't keep your fingers warm, and if your fingers have no feeling in them, you can't ride, you can't run your throttle, you can't run your brakes. So anyway, that's my story. We're gonna cruise on down this little Willow Creek Canyon and enjoy the sights. I'm enjoying this ride today. It's been quite relaxing, and then it's, you know, you don't have to go for hundreds of miles to call it an adventure. But if you go with a frame of mind that you don't really care which road you take, or for sure, or how long it takes, or how fast you go, or whatever, then you can just kind of make those decisions along the way, and things will just kind of morph together. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a good time if you have a good attitude. So that's what we've been doing today. We've been riding with good people to ride with. We've all got decent equipment and decent frame of mind, and we're having a good time. So anyway, that's my story. We're gonna cruise down the canyon here a bit, and I'll see you a little bit later at the bottom there, probably. Well, it looks like to me we got about almost 2 hours of daylight left to get home, so hopefully we can find us a nice route to get home. I've got a couple ideas in mind that we could maybe go out around through Jap Valley and around the Yuba Reservoir, and that way we can hit dirt pretty well all the way to town and won't have to hit the highway. So if we can do that, I'd just as soon be on the dirt. Anyway, that's my story. Thanks for riding along today. Please like, subscribe, comment if you wish. This is Dr. Dual Sport checking out. I'm just going to keep moseying along and see if I can catch up with the guys and head for home.